Hey everybody, welcome back to Tamarak's Treehouse. Got another tabletop setup that I wanted to share. The party has entered an area called Broch Tunare, which is basically a Mecca for all religious purposes. A lot of different religions of the world come together in this holy, sanctified place where there is a common theme called Keep the Peace. And that is basically a phrase that is passed around by the guards and the people that maintain this place. The party will come in and they will see some areas for some merchants where they can do some shopping, buying of some things like incense or offerings to gods or deities or whomever you'd like to worship. The party will then get to look around and see all different sorts of totems and effigies and places of worship of different gods and goddesses, all neutral aligned, good aligned, evil aligned. They will have different conversations with different zealots of different worshipers, trying to get them to convert or learn about their god's ways. Here they can venture off to one of the goddesses that is pretty big in my campaign, Selune. So there's an effigy for her. There's a couple other hidden things that if the players are smart enough or key enough to pick up on, that previous sessions will bleed into, so they can do some more investigating. One of my characters has had a run-in with a dead god named the Sybil in one of the previous sessions that I think I shared on YouTube here. And there's a little hidden Easter egg that my character can pull that thread and see where that goes. There's also this giant tower in the center of the area, which at night they can go up at top and look through a magical telescope that will change itself to the different size of the characters. If you're a gnome, it extends itself. If you're a human, it shrinks so that you can, fit to your size. And just by thinking or wanting to look at a certain celestial object, like any one of the three moons that are surrounding the planet, or a certain constellation, the telescope will take you there. But they also learn the hard lesson that if you do not keep the peace, there is a magical effect that will come down and strike the offender and basically obliterate them, which makes it so everybody does want to keep the peace. But each of my players had an opportunity to visit their deity. I have a character, or a player character, who worships Mistra, and I have a little totem here that I identified as hers. There's different, all different contexts that they can have. They spoke to the caretaker, Lady Soltara, and asked her if they can get some information on the Sybil, which was really great. So I was able to provide them some clues to take there. They ran into some interesting characters, like a goblin who has a magical book and quill that basically writes and transcribes his thoughts, which was really great. My wizard was really interested in that and wanted to try to get that from him. I did provide a witch that did some fortune tellings, so we added in some prophecies and some visions and some things that could be bogus or could come to fruition later on in the campaign. And just a lot of interesting different threads that they could have pulled. They definitely visited the merchant, bought some stuff. They bought some magic potions off the witch, got their fortunes read, visited the top of the spire, and saw some constellations that triggered some potential memories from the reborn that I have in the group. And they got some information about some other things, such as some gods and deities that had been kind of interacting with them unknowingly throughout the campaign. This was a perfect setup for when they were sleeping, to give them all dreams and visions. So I was able to bring in a lot of their backstories and tie it together into this magical, mystical place. And from here, they actually spent 3 sessions here because there was so much for them to do. And then we just ended the last session where they had ventured off, moving through a mountain pass, where they did encounter some bandits. I had a different setup for that. that I added right on top of the table here with a plank of wood, and that's where we ended the session. So I'm really interested to see where this goes, but I wanted to share this out because today is cleanup and setting up for next session. So thanks everybody for attending. Give me any feedback that you'd like, or any thoughts or questions that you might have about the campaign thus far. Most of the products here, it's just a combination of WizKids products, 3D printed material, things like this, 3D printed from Monster Fight Club, some Dwarven Forge on things like the trees, and some miscellaneous stuff scattered around. Dwarven Forge here, and then some 3D printed stuff. Most of it's painted. I didn't get to all of it though, but as such is the way when you have so many things to print and paint in no time at all. So thanks for taking the time. Hope that you enjoyed this, and if you had any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks, and have a great day.